today we're making the body of our bobblehead. The first thing you should do when you get your clay is wedge it, and that means squish it around for a little bit. And then you're going to take a chunk off the clay and set that chunk aside. You're going to shape the clay into kind of this flat oval shape. And then you're going to use the heel of your hand to just press it and flatten it a little bit more. You can even flip it over to make sure it doesn't stick and to flatten it more evenly. It should be about the thickness of a cookie when you're done flattening it. It shouldn't be any flatter than what a standard cookie looks like. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your skewer tool and you're just going to slice off the rounded edges of your oval so that you have two kind of flat edges, and we're just going to roll this together and connect it like that. But the first thing we need to do before we connect the two pieces of clay is score and slip. So you're going to use this toothbrush dipped in water. Scoring is just kind of scratching the surface. Slipping is putting some wet clay on there, getting the clay wet. Then you can join the pieces of clay together. So you always have to score and slip before you join two pieces of clay together. It's kind of like clay glue. So once you've joined this clay together, kind of looks like a little tube, you're going to decide which part is the bottom, and you're just going to gently tap it on the table a little bit to make it flat, and that'll make it stand up straight without wobbling. And then the top part of this tube, you're going to very carefully close it up while still keeping the bottom of the tube hollow and open. So you're just going to very carefully kind of close it up like this. It'll help to stick one hand inside so that it keeps that tube open and hollow. And you're just going to squish, 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 and you're going to make kind of this point at the end. Just like this. Now it shouldn't be too skinny this point or else it'll break off, because this is where you're going to put the head of your bobblehead. So I'm actually going to add some more clay to make my point just a little bit taller and thicker so that it holds the head on really well. So I'm just going to wrap it around like this. I don't need to score and slip this part because I'm just making it become one with my piece. So now you've got this weird little point coming out of your tube, and this is where the head's going to rest and where it's going to bobble once we make the head. So anything below the point is fair game. The point's going to be covered by the head, so you're not going to put any details on that point. So now I'm going to start making some details. I'm going to take that chunk of clay that I had taken off in the beginning, and I'm going to start to make some legs. I'm going to make a cat bobblehead. You can make whatever kind of creature you want. So here's a standard leg. You can roll a small coil and make it into kind of an L shape, and then I'm going to score and slip it on the front of my bobblehead body here. So don't forget to score and slip whenever you add a piece on like this. Now, you can put it on without scoring and slipping and it'll seem to stick just fine, but when the clay dries, because you didn't score and slip, the two pieces of clay are going to kind of break away from each other, and so all your little things are going to fall off if you don't score and slip. So you really can't cheat and skip out on the scoring and slipping. You need to do it every time you stick something on. So I've got two little legs here sticking out of the front. Now I want to make a tail. Now if your creature has a long tail, it's probably not a good idea to stick it on like this, like sticking out. And it's definitely not a good idea to stick it up because it's going to get in the way of the head. So if you do make a long tail on your animal or your creature, it's smart to kind of curl it around like this and keep it inwards on the body and not sticking out. And that'll just make it so it doesn't break or interfere with where the head's gonna go. So I'm scoring and slipping on the tail. And then I'm gonna make a couple of back legs because I've still got plenty of extra clay for that. So I'll just make an L shape. Another L shape, and then I'll score and slip them to the bobblehead body. And notice how I'm really smoothing them on good too. Remember these words: score, slip, stick, smooth. Smoothing them on, making them become one with the body will really make them stick good and look good. Now with my skewer tool, I can draw some little details on my bobblehead body. So I can do some little toes on the feet. And then I think I'll do some stripes on the tail. So you can draw whatever details you want on your bobblehead's body. And again, don't do anything on the long neck part because that's where the head's gonna go.